India pick up those 2 points and go closer to that semi-final spot. They've been unbeaten this World Cup so far. Nice, neat and clean. Professional was this win. India win by 50 runs. Shanto did try putting up a fight with those 40 runs, but Kuldeep got 3. Jasprit Bumrah, Mr. Consistent, got 2. And Arshdeep got 2 as well. We are back at Cricbuzz Live to talk about India's win and lots more. I've got Zach and Gilly with me. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nice, professional and neat that was.
Yeah, easy win.
Yes.
It was expected, I guess. Once India got to 196, we knew that the condition on offer, the pitch, the way it was playing, it should be an easy total to defend, and that's what we've seen. 50-run margin is something which India will be very happy with. Ticked all the boxes nicely, all the bowlers chipping in, and Kuldeep, he's got three wickets. That's something which was very good, because he's not been part of this playing 11 in this World Cup. Last game, it's never easy for anyone to just come in and hit the rhythm. I think he's hit the rhythm now, and that's something which India will be very happy with. He himself will be very happy with, and so far it's been very clinical performances from this team.
Well, not only Indian fans, but Gilly will be very happy as well, because you had picked Kuldeep as your bowler of the tournament when we started the World Cup. So you'll be happy with his 3 wickets today.
Yeah, if he keeps getting 3, maybe 4 every game, he can be the leading wicket taker, I reckon. That's what I was predicting. And it took 4 games before he got on the park. But no, he was excellent. Yeah, it's a good summation. That it almost felt like a bit of a training session by the end of it, didn't it? You could see the guys taking catches and wickets and not even really running in to celebrate. Just acknowledgement was there, but just trying to make sure they get through unscathed, really. And that's a perfect day out for them. At this stage of the tournament, it's just like they're just starting to fine-tune the engine a little bit. They've had the car out for a drive, a few coughs and splutters here and there where it's not perfectly running, and that's what you want towards the end of the tournament. You want it running perfectly on the last day of the tournament. So all indicators for India at the moment are positive.
Well, a little more on Kuldeep, Zach, because he's somebody who's just been so crucial for India, picking up those important wickets at important times, and he's done that again today. 11 dot balls, he manages to choke the batsmen. So just all in all, happy Kuldeep and a happy India.
Well, when we looking at Kuldeep's stats, he's someone who likes to be aggressive, likes to be the wicket taker. And that's how Indian team also have been looking at him. He can be expensive at times, but that doesn't matter. Is the role which is defined for him. He got to be thinking wickets all the time. He got to be looping those deliveries nicely. He is a little bit on the slower side, so that is something which at times he felt that he needs to change that.
Yes.
But he should back himself with all his variations. That's something which he's learned now. He has added a bit of more revs, more pace through the air in his bowling, which he's been consciously working on. And he's been in good rhythm, So if Gilly is saying that he's going to be the leading wicket taker for the tournament, he's not wrong in saying that, because he's shown that kind of a form. And it's just about playing games. I think if he's playing games, he might be able to catch up and be up there by the end of the tournament.
It's his line that he bowls. He attacks the stumps. So whether it's the wrist spin, the left arm leg spin, or the wrong, and he's pitching in line with the stumps, and then it's up to a lot of the batters in this around cricket in recent times haven't picked him. Whether it's IPL or his 2 outings in this tournament.
We saw the wrong one today as well.
Yeah, the wrong one is just going past the outside edge. The leg spinner might spin into the pad. He's getting LBWs. So the risk taking by each batter brings with it even higher risk when you're sort of giving the stumps to the bowler, and that's what it is. It's an aggressive mindset, and Rohit's got the more defensive options there from Akshar or Jadeja if he needs to go that way. But it's a really beautifully balanced lineup.
But Zach, do you think now is it safe to say that they're going to go with Kuldeep, or will they get Yuzi in? We wanted to see Yuzi to come in, because Kulcha together is something that we've seen them so successful.
I think Yuzi now, looking at the games remaining in the tournament, I don't think he will be coming into play. Simply because you want to have enough batting depth. And I think Aksar's selection was predominantly with that kind of thought process. So you want Aksar to be there with his bowling, and that's why Rohit consciously have been using him in the power play. You know, if he's able to do that, then suddenly he's got that flexibility with using his bowlers. And Kuldeep, he's using him especially when batters are looking to attack. So back 10 is something which he's looking at. You know, he'll bring him not right after the power play, but he will wait for maybe 2-3 overs every time. I've been noticing that. So, you know, that's something which is playing on his mind. He wants to stack up those overs in that fashion, where Kuldeep's effectiveness also goes higher because when batters are going after him, that's where Kuldeep's wicket-taking chance is going to improve. So looking at all these things, I think Yuzi Chahal for this tournament now, unless it's a forced change and something has happened to Kuldeep, he's injured, then only he'll come into play.
By the time Australia and India match up on, what's that, Monday night, our time here, they may well both be secure through to the semis. So that match might be an opportunity where just one change, they might expose Yuzi to give him a game in case something does happen to someone else.
Had Kuldeep playing from the beginning, maybe that would have been the thought process. But the fact that Kuldeep
is trying to get games under his belt. I agree. I don't think. I mean,
I think
there's still a fair bit at play if that scenario unwinds as to who finishes top or bottom, first or second. That's going to help you in a semi-final should it get rained out, finishing top of the group. But that's for down the track at the moment. I think you're right. They just leave it. The balance is perfect.
Yeah.
And well, against Australia, we don't want to change any balance that's going right, Gilly. That I can tell you.
You don't tempt mother cricket, do you? You just say, okay, we're happy, we're going along nicely.
We're going along nicely. And talking about going along nicely, just another day at the office for Jasprit Bumrah. He comes in, picks up 2 wickets. It's just become like, 2 wickets, Bumrah. Yes, it's a normal.
Yeah, I think he'll be saying that, okay, I could have had 3.
Yeah, the money that went down.
But he's in supreme touch, you know, that is something which is evident. You want him to just continue with the same form right to the finals is what you're expecting. In fact, against Australia, you know, if we've already qualified, maybe not exposing Bumrah is something which they might think of, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But Bumrah is an asset, he's a match winner. So he's just continuing with the good form.
77 dot balls in the tournament.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's incredible. Of the 19 overs that he's bowled.
That's phenomenal. That's just crazy. I mean, you're turning it into a sort of an 18 over game for the opposition, aren't you? They've got to get those runs off basically 18 overs. So, yeah, it's bordering on getting boring, actually. But it's fascinating to watch.
Yes.
And that chance to Rishabh, I mean, we saw the one to Sky that got Sky out, did kick and fly through. That ball, the drop catch from Rishabh, that did fly through. I mean, he should have taken it. There's no doubt about it. And he would admit that. But it did have that's a surprise element of a bowler like Bumrah. And that can be challenging as a wicketkeeper to get your distance right because he's got such a good slower ball, good change of pace. But then if there is a bit of two-pace in the wicket, Bumrah will expose that and that can catch you out as a wicketkeeper to an extent. But he no doubt he should have patched that one. You could see how disappointed Rishabh was when he dropped it.
But Gilly, as a wicketkeeper, is there a little communication with the bowler? Like would the bowler and the keeper communicate and say that this is my plan for the next 6 balls or 3 balls?
Signals, a bit like baseball. We saw a bit of that. Where did we see that? Who was it? Nicky Pooran was signalling to, I think, Hasan about where to, sort of when he's up over the stumps, just subtle glove movements, but, you know, sort of indicating what line he wanted. I don't think a lot of it happens. I think you've just, as a wicketkeeper to someone like Bumrah on that pitch, you've got to get what you think is the comfortable, you know, taking the ball at about waist height. And if something does fly, you've just got to trust and back your instinct, back your skill and your reaction time. And he just missed out there. But I don't think there's too many sort of signals around these days. You build up a familiarity with your bowlers and hopefully there's an understanding that should carry you through as in that partnership.
Well, let's have a look at the overall bowling card because like Zach said, everyone chipped in with the wickets. Of course, we spoke about Kuldeep, we spoke about Bumrah, Arshdeep getting those 2 as well and Hardik getting that 1 So overall, a happy bowling card, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, this is the kind of bowling card you would like to see when you have pretty much dominated the game through and through. Just about everyone, even Hardik, maybe touch on the expensive side, but he got that important wicket of Litton Das there. So yeah, I think they'll be very happy with the overall bowling effort from all the bowlers.
A couple of lusty blows from Rishabh at the end probably inflated a bit of that economy rate, and he's a talent, isn't he? Yeah. He's with ball and bat.
But Zach, also a rare sight to see Rohit so animated, because usually he's somebody who's very entertaining on the field, but today we could see him really animated on the field.
I think it's a fact that, if you remember, I think the last time these two teams played in the World Cup was in Australia, if I'm not mistaken, in Adelaide, where Litton Das had that flying start, and maybe just a reminder of that by the look of it. And Rohit has not forgotten that. So he was pumped up because of that, is what my feeling is.
Gilly, you were happy with the way he rotated his bowlers and the plan that he had in mind executed well? Yeah,
very. I think I think that the emotion shows you that we're getting to the pointy end of a World Cup, and he's captain of the highest profile cricket team in the world, who covet this trophy so dearly. So it's all just brewing up nicely for them, and I think that's a real statement. That today, if India started favourites, there's no doubt about it. That game today, and they played like the big brother that they are and have been over most of the Asian teams across the subcontinent. So yeah, I think he's got so many options there. He shuffles them around. He looked particularly happy for Hardik Pandya getting that wicket early. For all the dramas of the IPL, it's amazing what suddenly putting on your national colours together can do to all that drama, and you just forget it and go, okay, we're one team, we're heading in one direction here. So I think Rohit's leading beautifully, very calm, doesn't seem fazed by the fact that he himself hasn't nailed a big score yet. We saw the glimpses. There was enough on show today from he and Virat that they're fine.
But also, just at no stage were Bangladesh even if they were going well, India managed to chip in and get those wickets at the correct time.
Yeah, I mean, to me, at no stage, I felt that there is a spot of bother.
Yes.
Or, India is going to struggle defending this. It looked in control through and through. There will be a phase, where batters are going to go hard because it's a T20 format. That's the nature of the game. There will be a couple of guys who might have a good day. But 190 plus, you knew that it is going to be an easy defense for India.
Well, the Super 8 looks like India has been very clinical with their wins. In New York in the group stages, we had those tense moments when the Indian fans' heart rate was going up, but this one was very clinical from India.
Yeah, and getting on to more truer surfaces.
Yes.
Today we say two-paced, a little bit slow, but a much more reliable surface to play cricket on than what we saw around some of the venues there in America due to the drop-in nature and so on. So once you get on a slightly dicey pitch, it evens the contest up, and those big moments become more apparent. Whereas, if you play well, play on skill and not emotion, that's what India look like they're doing at this phase of the tournament. So one more to go for them against Australia, and as I say, by the time that game's on, they may well be secure in the semis. So yeah, it's I think the fans and the supporters can feel rest easy that things are in control at this point in time.
Well, we all get very emotional as fans at this point in the tournament, and it just the emotional quotient keeps going higher up when India go higher up, but that's how the game is, I guess. For Bangladesh today, Zach, Shanto tried to put up a fight. They started off well with what Tanzid Hasan did as well with him, but then really no support later on in the batting card.
Yeah, just Rishabh Hussain a little bit at the end, but didn't really matter at that stage. Shanto and Hasan are the only two guys who you can take notice of at the top order. But they were also behind the 8 ball, right from the word go. So even though they were going strong at that stage, the pressure was not enough to be there, to be put on the Indian bowlers for them to be feeling scared.
Gilly, Bangladesh is going to be disappointed with their World Cup campaign because the conditions here in America and in the Caribbean were very suited to the way Bangladesh plays. So they would have liked to be better off than what they did this World Cup.
Yeah, I guess, they got through to the Super 8s, but they'll reflect on moments even in the group stages. The game against South Africa, as I say, it didn't affect them not getting through, but it can affect the belief and the confidence and trying to instill in the foundations of a team that they're building heading in the right direction. And so when it's so hit and miss, that's where it struggles to get consistency. And we've spoken about having a consistent team. You don't need to churn players so much. Just focused on their under-19 representation. They do it a lot. They're doing that too consistently. So I think little things like that they'll reflect on and go away from this tournament and have to work out what's their basis of their team going forward now. There's Mahmudullah and Shakib who are closer to the end of their career than the start of it.
Yes.
Who leads? What's the foundation? Who are we going to put in the team as a youngster and give them an extended run and not just rip them out if they have a couple of failures? So they need some calmness around to start to look at the next tournament and the next phase of Bangladesh cricket.
Zach, what do you see? You've played so many games against them. How do you see them transitioning from these two pillars that they have in their team?
I think with Bangladesh, what I've been seeing, they need to really compete with the bat. They're not being able to. The moment you get to a total, like the moment like India had 195, you know that they're going to struggle to get those kind of totals. Even if there is a partnership which might look threatening, but they will not be able to sustain it right through and through. So they'll have to come up with those answers. That when Tamim was there, maybe Tamim was that guy, Shakib in form. Mahmudullah, Mushfiqur, so all those kind of players maybe were able to create that kind of impact. But after that, right now, you're not able to see that. And that has been there for a while. Even right now, we're talking about, Shakib has to contribute for them to have that impact. And that did happen when he scored runs. So if not Shakib, who? And they'll need 3 batters, maybe 4, and put it together where they are competing with the bat. If they're able to have that kind of a philosophy, then their bowling have been consistent. They know that if there is conditions on offer, if there's a little bit of help, or you create a scenario where you get 2 wickets early, then suddenly you can put the squeeze on and you can have maybe around the par score. But the par score you should be able to consistently get for you to create that little bit of doubt in all the teams they're playing against.
Well, lots for Bangladesh to take out from this World Cup moving forward. Now moving forward, let's have a look at what's happening tomorrow. As a very important game again. The United States of America take on England tomorrow. And this is group number 2 happening at Barbados. It's not, it is a knockout. Mathematically, US is still in. So it is a knockout for both these games. I'm sure Michael has tuned in to listen to what we are talking about tomorrow, because every time it's an England game, we see him biting on his nails, chewing his nails. They had a narrow, it was a close game, but that loss to South Africa is going to hurt.
Yeah, it does. There's no doubt about that. They could be in a much stronger position. I think for the US, I think they've got to win by about 80 runs to even stay remotely alive in the tournament. And they are coming off a beating against the West Indies, aren't they? So after all the profile and emotion around their big win against Pakistan, the US it's been a harder slog. It's been a real awakening for them of what it's like playing with the big boys of world cricket. But they'll be all better for the experience, and so too for cricket in the US. Hopefully the profile is there and it catches on in some manner that they can sustain a program. But there hasn't been enough returns from a few players. Aaron Jones's form slipped off since he assumed the captaincy. I think Anderson just hasn't delivered the results that he's probably would be expected of him. But England, on the other hand, that sort of almost missed out on Super 8s, then played that beautiful match against the the hosts looked really good, suddenly looked like they were favourites, and then they just fell short the other day. So Adil Rashid's the key for me, I think, for England as this tournament progresses. I know Archer's been a standout bowler, no doubt about that, but I think Adil Rashid more so. I think Archer benefited from the more seam bowler friendly wickets earlier on, but now on these drier Caribbean wickets, Rashid in the last 2 games has been exceptional.
Zach, for USA, they've really missed their captain. Aaron Jones has been the stand-in captain, but they missed Monank Patel, who had a good game against Pakistan. So that batting top order was kind of being held by him as well. Any changes you see? Because in the bowling department, we've seen what Saurabh Netrawalkar has done, but any other changes you see at all? Aaron Ghost is the one who's been impressive.
Yeah, he's batted well. He opened in absence of Monank in the previous, the game before that. I think his form is also going to be critical. It's going to be a learning for US. That's how we are seeing it at this stage. Tougher opponents, bigger teams. I've liked their approach. Their body language is something which I'm impressed by. They believe. So they believe on their day they can beat any team. That is something which is very important. It's never going to be easy at this stage.
Yes.
So it's about just carrying this experience forward. Take the lessons forward in your preparation and keep believing. Is something which Stuart Law must be saying to all of them. And so far it's been good. There've been a lot of positives. You've seen Nitish Kumar also. He's got a good flow of the bat. You've seen Aaron Jones, who's had a decent run in this World Cup. Kenjige is someone who's been good with the ball. Harmeet Singh, good all-round performance with the bat, with the ball. Netrawalkar has been consistent with the new ball and shown good signs of him developing into a good cricketer. So all those positives are there. It's just about going and expressing yourselves freely.
Well, Gilly, for England, they'd want their captain to step up and get those runs, because when Joss Butler gets those runs, how it kind of translates into the whole team just getting uplifted. So they'd want him to get some runs. Livingston got good runs in. But do you see any changes with regards to the bowling at all?
I think the only change may be Chris Jordan, possibly for Sam Curran. But I think Curran's done a better job. He hasn't taken a wicket, Curran, but I think he can bowl some really important deliveries, not just important overs, but even important balls at the back end. Hartley might come into contention with another spinning option at the expense. But I think the balance of their team, they've got that right. I think that's their team that they would say, should they get through to the World Cup final, that's our most well-balanced 11, the one that they've played in the last couple of games. And yeah, as I say, the spin-friendly conditions, I think Rashid will be really challenging. Even Moeen Ali might be able to play a role in Barbados on a track that we've seen is turning as another day game. It's such a difference compared to the West Indies versus US game under lights in Barbados. The ball skidded on really nicely under the lights. So they'll have to factor all that in. The toss might be an important one to win there. We saw India and Rohit win the toss in Barbados and bat first in a day game. We sort of thought that goes against the grain of what people do, but it turned out being the right decision.
All right, so players to watch out for tomorrow then, one from each team. Zach.
Players to watch out for, I think for US, I'll go with Saurav Netrawalkar, the left armer. He's been impressive. And for England, Joss Butler. I think he needs to fire.
Yeah, I'm going with Butler as well, actually, for England. I think he could fire a big shot tomorrow, and that'll help round off all that sort of preparations for England in regards to getting everyone fine-tuned. And I think Aaron Jones, he started the tournament in a blaze of glory. I think he could just fire one more big shot by the end of it too.
All right, that's for tomorrow. We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. But as of today, India, all of India's fans are very happy because India have picked up 2 points. Let's have a look at what the captain Rohit Sharma had to say post the match. He said, all 8 batters need to play their role, whatever it is. Our top score was 50 and we still got 196. In T20, you don't need 50s and 100s. What matters is the pressure you put on the bowlers. That's how we want to play. That's how we want to encourage ourselves to play going forward as well. pretty much what you were saying, Zach, that, it's about everyone contributing, getting the job done.
I like the use of words there, that you want the bowlers you're facing to be under pressure. So that is the format.
Yes.
If you are letting them settle, suddenly 1 over is going to become 2 overs, and 2 overs is going to become 3 overs, and that's a huge space in this particular format. That's a big duration. So that's the kind of approach they want to carry forward, and that's why Aksar is going to be that critical cog in that playing 11. You need, if you are looking at this way, if you want to approach the game this way, you will need batting depth, and Aksar is going to provide that batting depth.
Well, Gilly, again, something that you said as well, the 50s and 100s are not so important. It's about the team playing together.
Yeah, that's great messaging, that.
Yes.
If I'm playing under the captain after that result, and seeing that the team display and reading that, you go, right, we're all on the right page here. We're all heading in the right direction. So that's well articulated by Rohit, and that tells me it's a selfless approach. Nobody's caring about who's getting the accolades and so on. So yeah, that's they're on the right track.
Well, as a result of today's win, let's have a look at what's happening on the points table, because India are sitting pretty on top with a very strong net run rate as well. Of course, Afghanistan and Australia play tomorrow. Gilly, hoping that all goes well there.
I hope so, yeah. It'll be a much more pleasant experience tomorrow night if it's gone well.
So if they do beat Afghanistan, then India and Australia both qualify. We'll know what happens by tomorrow evening.
Yep.
But Gilly, we also know that it was a very close call in the ODI World Cup until Glenn Maxwell did what he did. And we know that Rashid says they prefer T20 cricket. It's a stronger game. So surprises, you never know.
Yeah, good history there right now.
Yeah.
Afghanistan will be believing that they got a chance because they came very close. They had them almost going over the line. Just one partnership and special innings to get Australia out of that hole. So Afghanistan will be looking forward to this battle.
Yeah, I think it's just Afghanistan's batting, a bit like Bangladesh, the point you make. Their batting needs to stand up. They rely so heavily on their bowling, and Rashid, such an important cog in that wheel, and the various spin options, but and even fast one, Faruqi, the left armour, but their batting needs to stand up. They can't rely on Gurbaz at the top and think that he's going to get the job done. And I think that Aussie bowling lineup and the options should be too powerful, but we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see, but India won today, and if Australia wins tomorrow, India will still be winning. So it's a win-win for everyone. And there's a lot of winning even in our guessing game today. So let's have a look at what happened on that points table. Ooh, I've gone up. Phew, Simon Dewell's back at number 1.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever been in the Premier League on the left-hand side.
Well done, Gilly. Zach is there as well.
And I've actually gone down after hitting
a bullseye. That's why I don't go for the bullseye. But I think I need to
look into the percentage calculations and stuff.
But I had no idea that Gaurav was last on that table there. Wow.
He needed that one he got today.
But he's still last on that table.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Gaurav, we wish you luck for what's to come. We are rooting for you. We really are. Well, let's have a look at the joy factor question of the day. See who got it right. In T20I history, what connects Daniel Vittori and Suleiman Ben? Any guesses at all?
They're bowling in the death overs or what? Or power play overs? Maybe something on those lines.
Must have something to do with the first T20 World Cup. I don't know.
Okay, let's have a look at what the answer is if you all were close at all. They bowled the first 2 super overs in the format. Ooh, and West Indies won.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with what we were guessing. But let's have a look at who's gotten it right and who's gotten it quickest as well. Arvind Champ has gotten it right. Arvind, well done. We keep seeing your name, so congratulations on that. I wonder if we've ever had a day when someone has not answered the joy factor question.
But that's very interesting because both the spinners bowling the super over.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think when that was. I wonder. Have to look into that.
We'll have to ask Joy Bhattacharya the answers to that. I mean, I in my, year and a half here, there's been an answer every time there's been a joy factor. So it's quite amazing the knowledge that and the way these people answer this question. It's really pretty spectacular. So well done, guys. And well done on today's day and India's win. Thank you, Gilly. Thank you, Zach. It's always a pleasure.
Just got to tell you, I'm telepathic or not, maybe it's not that. I've just got a great memory. I've just been rejogged. Actually, I've just heard in my ear. 2008 was when that super over took place. The West Indies were touring New Zealand. That's when
touring New Zealand, okay.
Spinners in the super over. We thought T20 was the death of spin bowling, didn't we? But
well, things were different maybe back in 2008.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, maybe things are changing, but Saturday night, I know that Zach and Gilly, both of you have your plans to party on Saturday night.
We were just
Gilly
talking about how we're old men now. We just go home.
No partying.
No partying because you'll be up watching the match, won't you?
Indeed, absolutely.
So we will let you go, Gilly, because you have an early morning. And Zach, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.
I got a day off tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm going to enjoy my Sunday.
Okay.
Do that, mate.
So you enjoy your Sunday.
I'll see you tomorrow.
And I will see you tomorrow. And we will enjoy our Sunday together. So don't forget to join us tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Good night and goodbye.